Captain Alan Brooks sat in his command chair on the bridge of the Constellation. The large spaceship moved slowly at the edge of our solar system. Brooks was tall with short brown hair and a serious face. He had been captain for 5 years. "Captain, we're getting a strange signal," said Samantha Miller. She was the first officer and Brooks trusted her more than anyone. Her fingers moved quickly over the control panel. "Show me," Brooks ordered. A screen lit up in front of him. Strange symbols flashed across it. "It's not one of ours," Miller said. "The computer can't figure it out." Brooks leaned forward. After 20 years in space, this was new. "Where is it coming from?" Miller pointed to a small dot on the main screen. "There, about 200,000 miles from Neptune." "Magnify," Brooks said. The image zoomed in to show a ship. It wasn't human-made. It had a strange curved shape and gave off a soft blue light. "It's sending a distress signal," said Ben Cooper, the communications officer. "At least that's what the computer thinks it is." Brooks stood up. "This could be it. First contact with an alien race." He took a deep breath. "Open a channel." For 2 minutes they sent simple greeting messages. Then the screen changed. A being appeared. It had pale blue skin, large eyes, and no visible nose. When it spoke, its words were translated by the computer. "I am Krelthar, ambassador of the Xeraxian Confederation. We need help." Brooks introduced himself and asked what was wrong. "We are being hunted," Krelthar said. "The Draconians follow us. They are warriors, conquerors. They destroy all in their path." "Why have you come to Earth?" Brooks asked. "We have watched your people from afar. You are young but strong. The Draconians will come for you next. We can help each other." Brooks looked at Miller. Her face showed doubt. "Permission to board your vessel and discuss further," Brooks said. 20 minutes later, Brooks and Miller stood in the alien ship. It was warm inside with curved walls that seemed alive. Krelthar was taller in person, nearly 7 feet. "The Draconians have conquered 12 systems," Krelthar explained. "They are coming this way. Your weapons cannot stop them." "And yours can?" Miller asked. "Not alone," Krelthar admitted. "But together, with our technology and your unique qualities, we might stand a chance." "What unique qualities?" Brooks asked. Krelthar's large eyes blinked slowly. "Your adaptability. Your creativity in battle. Things the Xeraxians respect greatly." Brooks saw damage on the ship walls. Something had hit them hard. Whatever these Draconians were, they were real. "What are you proposing?" Brooks asked. "An alliance. We will share our technology. You will join our confederation and help fight the Draconian threat." "I don't have the authority to make such an agreement," Brooks said. "Then take me to those who do," Krelthar said. 3 days later, the United Earth Alliance leaders met with Krelthar. The alien showed them evidence of the Draconian threat, images of destroyed worlds and massive warships. "They will reach your system within 1 Earth year," Krelthar warned. After much debate, Earth agreed to a provisional alliance. Xeraxian ships began arriving with technology and knowledge to share. What humans didn't know was that Krelthar hadn't told them everything. The Xeraxians were indeed running from the Draconians. But they had also discovered something about humans that they desperately wanted. Something they would take, even if they weren't given permission. As Krelthar watched Earth ships being fitted with Xeraxian technology, he thought about his secret orders. He felt sorry for the humans, but his people needed to survive. Earth was giving them a warm welcome, not knowing what was coming next. The real plan had begun. 3 months passed since the Xeraxians arrived. Their ships now orbited Earth and their technology was everywhere. Most people were happy about the alliance. Xeraxian medicine had cured many diseases, and their engines made travel to Mars take only hours instead of months. Lieutenant Kevin Rodriguez lived in Chicago with his 8-year-old son, Nathan. Kevin's wife had died 2 years ago, so it was just the two of them. Kevin worked at the Earth Defense Command helping to add Xeraxian weapons to Earth ships. "Dad, can I meet a real alien someday?" Nathan asked one night as Kevin tucked him, Into bed. Maybe. Kevin smiled. Some Zyraxians are coming to the school next week. I signed the permission form. Nathan grinned. Cool. Billy says they can read minds, but I don't believe him. No, they can't read minds, Kevin said. They're different from us, but not magical. He kissed his son's forehead. Sleep tight, buddy. Later that night, Kevin was awakened by a strange sound. A faint humming came from Nathan's room. Kevin jumped out of bed and ran down the hall. When he opened the door, cold air hit his face. The window was open and Nathan's bed was empty. Nathan, Kevin shouted, running to the window. He saw nothing outside but a fading blue light in the sky. By morning, the news was everywhere. 43 children had disappeared from Chicago that night. Similar reports came from New York, London, Tokyo, and other major cities. Nearly 300 children gone in one night. Captain Brooks called an emergency meeting on the Constellation. Kevin and other officers whose children were missing were there too. The security cameras show something, Brooks said, turning on a screen. The video showed shadowy figures entering houses and apartments. They moved quickly and carried small bundles. The children. Before leaving each home, they used a device that looked like Zyraxian technology. Those are transportation devices, Miller said. Like the ones the Zyraxians showed us last month. Kevin stood up, his face red with anger. They took our children. The Zyraxians took them. Ambassador Krelthar was called to the meeting. He looked shocked when shown the videos. This was not done by the Zyraxian Confederation, he said firmly. These must be draconian spies. They are trying to break our alliance. Prove it, Kevin demanded. Help us find our children. We will, of course, Krelthar said. I will contact our ships immediately. Meanwhile, Dr. Olivia Ward worked in her lab at the Earth Science Center. As a xenobiologist, she studied alien life forms. For weeks, she had been studying Zyraxian biology with their permission. Today, she found something strange in their computer. She had been given limited access to their database, but when searching for information on Zyraxian brain development, an encrypted file appeared briefly before disappearing again. Her assistant, Jake Collins, saw it too. What was that? He asked. I don't know, Olivia said, but it happened when I entered neural pathways. She tried other related terms and another encrypted file flashed. This time she caught the title before it vanished. Human Neurological Compatibility. They're studying us too, Jake said. That's not surprising. No, but why hide it, Olivia wondered. She decided to dig deeper, but carefully. If the Zyraxians were hiding something about human biology, she needed to know what it was. That evening, Olivia met with Captain Brooks in his office. She trusted him. I found something strange, she told him. The Zyraxians are very interested in human neural pathways, especially in children. They've been collecting data, but it's all encrypted. Brooks frowned. You think this is connected to the missing children? I don't know, Olivia admitted, but the timing is suspicious. I need permission to investigate further. Brooks nodded slowly. Do it, but be careful. Don't let them know what you're doing. As they spoke, more reports of missing children came in. The number had risen to nearly 500 worldwide. And despite Krelthar's promises to help, no Zyraxian ships had joined the search. Something was very wrong and time was running out to find the truth. Dr. Olivia Ward didn't sleep that night. She worked in her lab with Jake trying to break the encryption on the Zyraxian files. They had to be careful. If the Zyraxians caught them, the alliance might end. Or worse. I think I've got something, Jake said near dawn. His eyes were red from looking at screens all night. I used that pattern we found in their language structure. The screen flashed and alien symbols appeared, then changed to English. Human Neural Compatibility Study, Olivia read aloud. Subject group, pre-adolescent humans, ages 5 to 12. She felt cold as she read more. Jake, they've been studying human children for months. Look at these dates, they started right after they arrived. Jake scrolled through the file. It says human children have a unique neurological structure. Something about their brains producing a specific energy signature that fades during puberty. Olivia's hands shook as she kept reading. The Xyraxians have been searching for a species with this trait for centuries. They need it to power something called... She struggled with the alien word. The Nexus device. What's that? Jake asked. Before Olivia could answer, her computer beeped. A message from Lieutenant Rodriguez. I've been tracking energy signatures, similar to Xyraxian transport devices, his message said. Most lead nowhere, but I found something. A facility deep under the ocean, in the Mariana Trench. I'm going to investigate with Agent Foster. If you don't hear from me in 12 hours, tell Brooks. He shouldn't go alone, Jake said. He's not. He has Foster, Olivia replied. And we need to finish here. They worked faster, decrypting more files. The truth was worse than they feared. The Xyraxians needed human children to power their ultimate weapon against the Draconians. The children wouldn't be harmed, at least not physically, but they would be connected to machines that use their unique brain energy. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Rodriguez and intelligence analyst Diane Foster took a small submarine to the coordinates he had found. The trip down was long and dark. At 30,000 feet below sea level, they found it, a massive structure built into the ocean floor. It's definitely Xyraxian, Foster said, scanning it. I'm picking up hundreds of life signs, many are small, child-sized. They found an entrance designed for underwater vehicles and docked. After putting on breathing masks that also hid their faces, they entered the facility wearing stolen Xyraxian worker uniforms. The hallways were filled with Xyraxians, but none paid attention to them. They followed signs in the alien language, heading toward what seemed to be a central area. There, Rodriguez whispered, pointing to a large room with glass walls. Inside were rows of small beds. Children lay sleeping on them with wires connected to their heads. Nathan, Rodriguez gasped, seeing his son. Stay calm, Foster warned. We need to get evidence back to Earth. They took pictures with small cameras, hidden in their uniforms. Then they found a computer terminal. Foster, who had been studying Xyraxian technology, managed to download files about the facility. We have enough, she said. Let's go before... Before what? Humans? A Xyraxian voice said behind them. They turned to see 4 guards with weapons pointed at them. Run! Rodriguez shouted. He pulled out his gun and fired, giving Foster time to escape. She ran down a hallway as alarms blared. Rodriguez fought the guards, but a beam hit him in the chest. He fell, thinking of Nathan. Foster made it to a communication room. Guards were right behind her. She quickly sent all their evidence to Captain Brooks, including a message. Children found. Xyraxians responsible. Mariana Trench facility. Rodriguez down. Send help. Just as she finished, the door burst open. A guard fired, and everything went black. On the Constellation, Brooks received Foster's message. His face hardened as he viewed the evidence. Get me Ambassador Krelthar, he ordered. Now. But before they could contact the Xyraxian ambassador, an alarm sounded. A ship had entered Earth's orbit. It wasn't Xyraxian. Draconian signature, Miller reported, her voice tight. It's a scout ship. Brooks stared at the screen. The threat the Xyraxians had warned about was real, but so was their betrayal. What do we do, Captain? Miller asked. Brooks looked at the images of the children. We find the truth, and we get those kids back. Captain Brooks gathered his team quickly. Dr. Ward, military specialist Steve Harris, and engineer Maria Garcia joined him in the meeting room. On the main screen, they watched the Draconian scout ship orbit Earth. We have 2 problems, Brooks said. The Xyraxians have taken our children, and the Draconians have arrived sooner than expected. The kids come first, Harris said firmly. His own daughter was among the missing. Dr. Ward showed them what she had learned. The Xyraxians need the children to power a weapon against the Draconians. They've been searching for a species with the right brain structure for centuries. And they found us, Garcia said. Brooks nodded. We're going to confront Ambassador Krelthar with what we know. An hour later, Krelthar arrived on the Constellation. 4 human guards watched him closely as he entered the meeting room. Brooks didn't waste time. He showed Krelthar the pictures from the underwater facility and the decoded files. "Explain. This," Brooks demanded. Krelthar's large eyes blinked slowly. For a moment he said nothing. Then he sighed. A very human-like gesture. "You were not meant to discover this so soon," he said. "So you admit it?" Garcia asked, her voice shaking with anger. "Yes," Krelthar said. "We took the children, but you must understand it was necessary. The draconian threat is real. You've seen their scout ship. Their main fleet will arrive within days." "That doesn't give you the right to steal our children," Harris shouted. "We didn't steal them," Krelthar insisted. "We borrowed them. The Nexus device needs their unique neural energy, but only temporarily. Once the draconians are defeated, the children will be returned unharmed." Dr. Ward stepped forward. "Your own files show that long-term connection to the Nexus device could permanently alter their brain development. A small price for survival," Krelthar said. "What are a few hundred children compared to the billions the draconians will kill? Your entire species will be enslaved or exterminated." "There had to be another way," Brooks said. "You could have asked for volunteers, explained the situation." "Would you have agreed?" Krelthar asked. "Would any parent volunteer their child for such a thing, even to save your world?" Before Brooks could answer, the door opened. A tall Xeraxian, in an elaborate uniform, entered. His skin was a deeper blue than Krelthar's, with markings that suggested higher rank. "Admiral Vexnor," Krelthar said, suddenly nervous. The Admiral looked at the humans, then at the images on the screen. His face showed an emotion the humans could recognize even on an alien. Shock. "You took human children?" Vexnor said too. Krelthar, his voice rising. "Have you lost your mind?" Krelthar stepped back. "Admiral, I can explain. The Nexus device was never approved for use with sentient beings," Vexnor shouted. "Especially not children. The High Council specifically forbade this research." Brooks looked between the two aliens. "You didn't know about this?" "No, Captain," Vexnor said, turning to Brooks. "I came to Earth as soon as I learned what Krelthar was doing. He and his faction have gone against our most sacred laws." "Sacred laws?" Garcia asked. "The protection of developing minds," Vexnor explained. "All sentient species hold this in common. Children must be protected, not exploited." He turned back to Krelthar. "You are relieved of your position and placed under arrest." 2 Xeraxian guards who had accompanied the Admiral moved toward Krelthar, but the ambassador backed away. "You don't understand the draconian threat as I do," Krelthar said. "I fought them at Proxima Centauri. I saw what they did to the Centaurians. The Nexus device is our only hope." "There are other ways," Vexnor said firmly. "No, there aren't," Krelthar replied. He pressed something on his wrist, and in a flash of blue light he disappeared. "Transport device," Garcia said. "He could be anywhere." Vexnor turned to Brooks. "Captain, on behalf of the Xeraxian Confederation, I deeply apologize for Krelthar's actions. I promise we will help you recover your children." "Thank you, Admiral," Brooks said. "But we need to hurry. The Draconian scout ship is just the beginning," Vexnor finished. "Our long-range sensors detect their main fleet. They will arrive in 3 Earth days." The humans looked at each other. 3 days to find the children and prepare for an invasion. "Admiral," Brooks said, "we need to know everything about this Nexus device, and about the Draconians." Vexnor nodded. "I will share all we know. But first we must find your children. Krelthar will try to move them from the underwater facility. He still believes his way is the only way to save both our peoples." "Then let's prove him wrong," Brooks said. The rescue mission came together quickly. Captain Brooks would lead a team to the underwater facility in the Mariana Trench. Admiral Vexnor assigned Commander Trelvik and 20 Xeraxian soldiers to help. "We need to move fast," Brooks told the team as they boarded the transport ship. "Krelthar will try to move the children before we get there." Dr. Ward was checking medical supplies. "I've studied the files about the neural connections. We need to remove them carefully or the children could be hurt. Steve Harris checked his weapons. What if Krelthar's people resist? Use stun settings only, Brooks ordered. No lethal force. Trelvik, a female Xeraxian with lighter blue skin than the males, nodded in agreement. We wish to correct this wrong, not add to it. The journey to the Mariana Trench took 3 hours. As they descended into the dark water, they could see the facility glowing on the ocean floor. But something was wrong. There's damage to the outer walls, Maria Garcia said, pointing to a section where water was being held back by emergency force fields. Internal alarms are active, Trelvik added, reading the Xeraxian signals. Something happened after Krelthar returned. They docked at an undamaged entrance. The team moved quickly through the corridors, weapons ready. The facility seemed in chaos. Some areas had lost power, and they found several Xeraxian workers unconscious. They're alive, Dr. Ward confirmed after checking one. Just stunned. They followed the sound of shouting to a large central chamber. Through a window they could see the room where the children were kept. Some beds were empty. Workers were disconnecting children from machines and moving them toward a transport area. They're evacuating, Harris said. Brooks saw Krelthar directing the operation. We need to stop them before they move all the children. Trelvik raised her hand. Wait. Look at the children who are still connected. Several of the older children, including Nathan Rodriguez, were glowing with a strange blue light. The machines attached to them were sparking. The children are fighting back, Doctor, Ward said in amazement. Their brains are creating energy the machines can't handle. Brooks turned to Trelvik. Is that possible? No human has ever been connected to the Nexus device before, she replied. Krelthar didn't know what would happen. It seems the children have developed abilities we didn't expect. They watched as Nathan sat up in his bed, still connected to the machine. His eyes glowed blue, and a force field appeared around him when a worker tried to touch him. We need to move now, Brooks ordered. Team 1 with me. We'll secure the children. Team 2 with Trelvik. Find the transport area and shut it down. They burst into the room. The Xeraxian workers scattered in surprise. Krelthar turned, his face showing anger. You don't understand what you're doing, he shouted. The Draconians will destroy us all. Stand down, Ambassador, Brooks commanded, aiming his weapon. Some of Krelthar's loyal guards moved to protect him, but Trelvik's soldiers quickly overwhelmed them with stun weapons. Dr. Ward rushed to the children, checking their vital signs. They're okay, but these connections need to be removed carefully. As she worked, Brooks noticed movement in a side room. He approached cautiously and found Lieutenant Rodriguez strapped to an examination table, conscious, but weak. Kevin, Brooks helped him sit up. We thought you were dead. Nearly was, Rodriguez said hoarsely. They've been experimenting on me, trying to understand why adults don't have the same abilities as the children. Did they learn anything? Dr. Ward asked, joining them. Rodriguez nodded slowly. They found a way to temporarily transfer the children's abilities to adults. They were going to use me as the first test subject. Meanwhile, Nathan had spotted his father. The blue glow around the boy intensified, and the machine connected to him exploded in sparks. He pulled the wires from his head and ran to Rodriguez. Dad! Nathan hugged his father tightly. The blue energy surrounded them both for a moment, then faded. Rodriguez looked at his hands in wonder. I can feel it, the energy. It's like nothing I've ever experienced. Dr. Ward scanned him with her device. The neural patterns are transferring between you. This could be important. Trelvik returned with her team. The transport system is disabled. No one leaves without authorization. Brooks turned to Krelthar, who had been captured. It's over, Ambassador. The children are going home. Krelthar looked defeated but still defiant. Then we all die when the Draconians arrive. The Nexus device was our only hope. Maybe not, Dr. Ward said, watching Rodriguez and his son. These children have developed abilities you didn't expect, and if adults can temporarily receive those abilities, we might have another option, Brooks finished. He looked at the rescued children, some still glowing with blue energy, others hugging the team members who had come to save them. "We're not giving up," Brooks told Krelthar. "But we'll find a way that doesn't sacrifice our children." The constellation received an urgent message as Brooks and his team returned with the rescued children. "Captain, the Draconian fleet has been detected, entering the solar system," Miller reported. 57 warships approaching from the direction of Neptune. In the medical bay, the children were being checked by doctors. Most were tired but unharmed. Some, like Nathan Rodriguez, still showed signs of the strange blue energy. Admiral Vexnor studied the scans of the approaching fleet on the bridge. "They are moving faster than we expected. We have less than 24 hours. "What about the Nexus device?" Brooks asked. Krelthar believed it was our only chance. "It might be," Vexnor admitted, "but not the way he planned to use it. The device creates a disruption field that renders draconian technology inoperable. But linking it to unwilling children is against everything we believe." Dr. Ward entered the bridge with Lieutenant Rodriguez. "We may have an alternative," she said. "The data we recovered shows that the temporary transfer of neural energy might work with willing adult volunteers." Rodriguez stepped forward. "I can still feel some of the energy Nathan shared with me. It's fading, but the connection was real." "Is it dangerous?" Brooks asked. "Less dangerous than letting the Draconians destroy Earth," Rodriguez replied. Brooks looked at Dr. Ward. "How many volunteers would we need?" "At least 20, maybe more," she answered. "The device needs a certain amount of neural energy to reach full power." Brooks thought for a moment. "I'll volunteer first. Who else?" Hands went up around the bridge. Miller, Harris, Garcia, every officer present volunteered. "The process won't harm the children?" Brooks confirmed. "No," Dr. Ward said. "It just requires a brief connection to transfer the neural pattern. Their natural abilities would be temporarily copied, not taken." Vexnor looked impressed. "This could work, but we need to act quickly." While Dr. Ward prepared the modified transfer procedure, Vexnor prepared the Zyraxian fleet. 7 ships remained in Earth orbit after Krelthar's faction was arrested. "Not enough to defeat the Draconians in direct combat," Vexnor told Brooks. "But if your plan works, we won't need to." In the medical bay, Nathan and the other children, who had developed abilities, gathered. Dr. Ward explained what they needed. "You want us to share our powers with the grown-ups?" Nathan asked. "Yes," Dr. Ward said. "Just for a while. It might save everyone on Earth." A girl named Lily spoke up. "We can help. We've been talking to each other with our minds. We know how the energy works now." The adults looked surprised. "You developed telepathy?" Dr. Ward asked. "Kind of," Nathan said. "Only with each other. We think it's because we were all connected to the same machines." Rodriguez knelt beside his son. "You don't have to do this, Nathan. We'll find another way." Nathan shook his head. "I want to help, Dad. The Draconians are coming to hurt everyone. I can feel it." Brooks watched as the children spoke to each other without words, their eyes occasionally glowing blue. They were making a decision together. "We'll do it," Nathan announced. "But we want to stay connected. It works better that way." Dr. Ward looked concerned. "That wasn't the plan. We wanted to isolate the transfer process." "Trust them," Rodriguez said. "They understand this better than we do now." Brooks agreed. "Let's set up in the main cargo bay. It's the largest space on the ship." 2 hours later, 20 adult volunteers sat in a circle in the cargo bay. The children formed an inner circle. Zyraxian technicians had set up a modified version of the Nexus device in the center. "The Draconian fleet has passed Mars orbit," Miller reported from the bridge. "Estimated arrival in 4 hours." "Begin the procedure," Brooks ordered. The children joined hands. Blue energy began to flow between them, growing stronger until it surrounded them like a glowing bubble. Then, following Nathan's lead, each child reached out to touch an adult volunteer. Brooks felt a jolt as Nathan touched his forehead. Images flooded his mind. Stars, distant worlds, and a deep understanding of energy patterns he had never comprehended before. His body tingled as the blue glow spread to include him and the other adults. "It's working," Dr. Ward said, monitoring the process. "The neural patterns are transferring successfully." The Nexus device in the center began to power up, drawing energy from the human neural network. Its components spun faster and glowed brighter. "Power levels at 60%, a technician reported. 70, 80. Suddenly Nathan gasped. "Something's wrong," he said. "Too much energy is flowing." Brooks felt it too, a pulling sensation as if something was draining him. Krelthar. The constellation moved to the front of Earth's defense line. 7 Xeraxian ships formed a protective arc behind it. Around Earth, defense satellites were activated, but everyone knew they would be little help against the Draconian fleet. On the bridge, Captain Brooks felt strange. The blue energy from Nathan flowed through his body. His mind felt clearer, and he could see patterns in space he had never noticed before. "I can sense the Draconian ships," he said, surprised at his own words. "We all can," Miller replied. Her eyes glowed faintly blue. "It's like I can feel their engines." Admiral Vexnor looked at them with wonder. "The neural transfer has enhanced your senses beyond what we expected." In the cargo bay, the children and the other adult volunteers remained connected to the Nexus device. Dr. Ward monitored their vital signs. "Their brainwave patterns are synchronized," she told Rodriguez, who had stayed with his son. "The energy field is stable." Nathan spoke, his voice sounding older and wiser than his years. "We're ready. The device is at full power." Vexnor received a message from one of his ships. "The Draconian fleet has entered Earth orbit. They're deploying an attack formation." The main screen showed the enemy ships. They were dark and angular, unlike the curved Xeraxian vessels. Smaller craft launched from the larger ships heading toward Earth. "They're sending landing parties," Harris said, starting the invasion. A communication came through. A reptilian face appeared on screen. The Draconian commander had scales instead of skin and yellow eyes with vertical pupils. "This is Commander Vrak of the Draconian Empire," it hissed. "Your world is now under our control. Surrender, and you will be allowed to live as servants. Resist, and you will be destroyed." Brooks stood tall. "This is Captain Alan Brooks of Earth. We decline your offer. This world is under our protection and the protection of the Xeraxian Confederation." The Draconian laughed, a strange hissing sound. "The Xeraxians? They have been running from us for years. They cannot save you." "Perhaps," Brooks said, "but we can save ourselves." He nodded to Miller, who sent the signal to activate the Nexus device. In the cargo bay, the device began to spin, faster. The blue energy around the children and adults pulsed brighter. Nathan squeezed his father's hand. "Now," Nathan said. The energy exploded outward from the constellation in a massive wave. It swept across space, engulfing the Draconian fleet. As it touched each ship, their lights flickered and died. "It's working," Garcia shouted from her station. "Their systems are shutting down." But the Draconians adapted quickly. Their main ships began to power up again, their engines glowing red against the blackness of space. "They're restabilizing," Vexnor said. "Faster than we anticipated." The Draconian commander appeared on screen again. A clever trick, but not enough. He gave orders, and the Draconian ships launched missiles toward the constellation. "Brace for impact," Brooks shouted. The ship shook as the missiles hit. Damage reports flowed in. "Shields at 40%, Miller reported. "One more hit like that and we're done." In the cargo bay, Nathan felt the ship shake. He looked at the other children. Without speaking, they all understood what needed to be done. "Dad," Nathan said to Rodriguez, "we need to try something else, something bigger." "What are you thinking?" Rodriguez asked, concerned. "We need to connect with the adults on the bridge too. Make the network bigger." Dr. Ward shook her head. "The neural strain could be dangerous." "We don't have a choice," Nathan insisted. Rodriguez looked at his son's determined face and nodded. "Do it." Nathan closed his eyes. The other children did the same. Suddenly, Brooks on the bridge felt a jolt as his connection to Nathan grew stronger. "Captain?" Miller asked, feeling the same thing. "It's the children," Brooks said. "They're expanding. The network." All across the ship, humans connected to the neural network felt their bond strengthen. Brooks could suddenly sense every person aboard, their minds linked to his. "This is incredible," he whispered. Then he felt something more. The children were using the adults as amplifiers, channeling their energy through the enhanced minds of the volunteers. The Nexus device pulsed with power far beyond its design limits. A second energy wave, stronger than the first, burst from the constellation. This time, when it hit the Draconian fleet, their ships didn't just lose power, they froze completely in space. The Draconian commander's face showed fear before his communication cut off. "All Draconian systems are offline," Garcia reported. "Their ships are completely disabled." But the strain on the human network was extreme. Brooks felt like his head would explode. Around the ship, the adult volunteers grimaced in pain. In the cargo bay, Nathan and the children were glowing so brightly they were hard to look at. "Hold on," Nathan told the others. "Just a little longer." Rodriguez watched helplessly as his son poured more and more energy into the device. "Nathan, you need to stop. You're hurting yourselves." "Almost done," Nathan said through gritted teeth. The energy wave continued to pulse outward, holding the Draconian fleet in its grip. Then, with a final surge of power, the Nexus device went silent. The blue glow faded from the children and adults. Nathan collapsed into his father's arms. Around them, the other children fell unconscious. "Nathan!" Rodriguez cried, checking his son's pulse. It was there, but weak. On the bridge, Brooks also collapsed. His last thought before darkness took him was of Earth, still safe in its orbit, with the Draconian fleet floating powerless around it. The battle was over, but at what cost? Captain Brooks opened his eyes 3 days later in the medical bay of the Constellation. Dr. Ward stood over him, checking his vital signs. "Welcome back, Captain," she said with a smile. "How do you feel?" Brooks sat up slowly. His head hurt, but the strange blue energy was gone. "Like I've been asleep for a week. The children? Nathan? They're all recovering," Dr. Ward assured him. "They woke up yesterday. The neural strain was intense, but they're young and resilient." Brooks swung his legs over the side of the bed. "And the Draconians?" "See for yourself," Miller said, entering the room. She handed him a tablet showing images of Draconian ships being boarded by joint human and Zyraxian teams. "Their systems were completely shut down by the second energy pulse," Miller explained. "We've captured most of their fleet intact. Admiral Vex Nor says it's unprecedented." Brooks studied the images. "Any resistance?" "Minimal," Miller said. "Without their technology, they surrendered quickly. It seems their confidence came from their advanced weapons, not their fighting spirit." "What about Krelthar?" Brooks asked. "Captured trying to escape in a small transport," Miller replied. "Admiral Vex Nor is taking him back to the Zyraxian homeworld for trial. The Admiral says their laws for crimes against children are severe." Brooks nodded and stood up carefully. "I want to see the children." In a large recovery room, the children who had been connected to the Nexus device were gathered. Some played games, others talked quietly. They seemed normal, except occasionally their eyes would flash blue when they looked at each other. Nathan Rodriguez sat with his father in a corner. When Brooks entered, Nathan waved him over. "Captain, you're awake," Nathan said. "Thanks to you," Brooks replied, sitting next to them. "You saved us all." Rodriguez put his arm around his son. "The doctors say there have been some permanent changes. The abilities the children developed aren't going away." "Is that bad?" Brooks asked. Nathan shook his head. "No, we can control it now. And we can still talk to each other without speaking." He tapped his temple. "In here." "And what about the adults who were connected?" Brooks asked. "Some changes there too," Rodriguez said. "Not as strong as the children, but something remained. Dr. Ward calls it neural echo. Brooks could feel it, a faint ability to sense patterns and energies he couldn't before. The Draconians won't be a threat again? Not for a long time, Rodriguez said. With their fleet captured, they've lost most of their power, and we've gained their technology. Captain, Miller called from the doorway. Admiral Vex Nor requests your presence on the bridge. The Draconian prisoners have revealed something important. On the bridge, Admiral Vex Nor waited with a grim expression. Captain Brooks, thank you for coming. How are you feeling? Well, enough, Brooks replied. What have you learned? Vex Nor brought up a star map on the main screen. The Draconians have been running too, just like us. There's something coming from the galactic core, something that consumes entire solar systems. What is it? Brooks asked. They don't know, Vex Nor said. They call it the darkness. It destroyed their original homeworld. That's why they became conquerors, desperately seeking new resources and technologies to fight it. Brooks stared at the map, seeing the path of destruction across dozens of star systems. How long do we have? Years, perhaps decades, Vex Nor said. But it's coming this way. Brooks thought about the children, about the unexpected abilities they had developed, and about the neural bond that had formed between humans and Zyraxians during the battle. Then we need to be ready, he said. Not as enemies, not as desperate survivors willing to sacrifice others, but as allies. Vex Nor nodded in agreement. The Zyraxian High Council has sent a formal apology to Earth for Krelthar's actions. They propose a true alliance, not based on fear or exploitation, but on mutual respect. And the children? Brooks asked. What about them? That will be for your people to decide, Vex Nor said. But the High Council, Sugga,